Welcome to today's video. We are going to the Dollar Tree today to look at art supplies. I've tested out some of the Dollar Tree art supplies and other items in the store that is not in the art section that you can use for your artwork. First up are paint palettes. Now the Dollar Tree does have these white plastic art palettes, which first of all, they're small. Second of all, I don't like tiny art palettes. Like, I mix lots of things with my paint most of the time. Those little cup spaces aren't enough room. Now you can also go to the plus section. There are packages of these little 2-ounce cups for $3. 12 of these 2-ounce cups. But again, that's not good enough for me, okay? I like going to the kitchen section. Sometimes they're 3-packs. These McCormick storage containers, that's what I use to mix my paint. They also come with a lid, which is a bonus for me because I will mix lots of things with my paint. I'll have leftovers, so I put the lid on it and the paint doesn't dry out. Next up, my favorite thing is go to the picture frame section, and I think the biggest that they go is 11 by 14. I don't like to go anything bigger than the 8 by 10 because the glass is very thin. So I take the glass out of the frame. I get some blue painter's tape, which you can also find at the dollar store, in the hardware section. Place the tape along the edges of the glass. The edges of the glass are a little sharp so it doesn't poke you. It also kind of helps reinforce the glass just a little bit. It's completely washable and it's totally awesome. I also use the painter's tape to attach photographs and paintings onto mats, and then you put that in a frame. Next up, in the bathroom section, there are these window squeegees to use as a painting implement instead of paintbrushes, and it gives a pretty cool effect. All I did was just squirt some paint onto a canvas just to see what it would do. It made kind of a cool design. I think for a lot of artists, a common thing I see that's like an issue when you're starting a painting is you get kind of afraid of like the whiteness of the canvas, that it can be kind of intimidating. So to just get a texture down, get a paint down, this can be an easy, fast way to just get a background down so that you're not looking at a white canvas. You can totally paint over it, draw over it, layer over it. But just to get you started, this squeegee can kind of help you just cover your canvas so you're not looking at a white canvas anymore. It's a little bit less intimidating. Some other things that's kind of hard to find: cleaning cloths for your brushes. Depending on your Dollar Tree, you might be able to find an all cotton towel. The closest I find is Clean Life multi-purpose cleaning cloths to clean off my brushes. These cloths are like part cotton, part polyester. Most of the cloths at the Dollar Tree are microfiber, which is polyester. I'm not a fan of microfiber because it isn't absorbent. In one of the bathroom section, there's these travel bottles. Some of them come with a little dropper top, some of them come with this little squeezy top that just opens and you squeeze it out. I like these, the 3-pack travel bottles with the top that just opens. When I make my own paint thinner, I make a batch that fits into 3 of these bottles. I'll link below the video to the recipe of this airbrush medium if you're interested in that. I don't use it as airbrushing. I don't do airbrushing. I just use it to thin my regular acrylic paints. It has distilled water, rubbing alcohol, and glycerin. Also, in one of the bathroom sections of the Dollar Tree, this is one of my favorites: a shower curtain. This is the #1 thing that I use and I stock up on at the Dollar Tree. I use this to paint on when I need to protect a wall, a floor, a bed, whatever I'm painting on. I have always rented. If I use my easel, I have to protect the wall from paint splatters. It's inexpensive to replace. I've gotten a couple of them, but they last a long time. Next item is the Dollar Tree paints. Now, you get what you pay for with paints because what you're paying for is the pigment quality. Now, the dollar store has lots of different types of paints: watercolors, acrylics, they have tempera. This isn't a paint, but I was surprised to find that they had oil pastels. Never seen that at a Dollar Tree before. I did find 2 different sizes of their acrylics, which I could not find a difference. It looked exactly the same kind of paint. The labels even looked slightly different, so I got the bigger bottle. I went ahead and started with the primary colors, yellow, red, and blue, and I'm comparing it to nicer quality paints. And I've got 3 different brands that I'm comparing it to. So I've got a Winsor Newton cadmium yellow, a golden Purell red, and a Liquitex phthalocyanine blue. The Dollar Tree blue is a phthalo blue. The Dollar Tree yellow I got is just called yellow. The Dollar Tree red I got is called Scarlet. I'm not mixing any water with these. They're just straight out of the tube. You can obviously tell the Dollar Tree paints are thinner. The blue is lighter. The yellow is extremely thin. The yellow was the thinnest pigment wise. The Dollar Tree red is also more pink than red. The texture of the Dollar Tree paints were kind of equivalent to a fluid acrylic. Is a little bit thinner than a fluid acrylic. It painted onto the canvas fairly well, like as far as the coverage. However, it was very thin. And then I did the same thing with the nicer paints. This is what the painting samples look like dry. So this is the dollar store paints. Dollar store is a lot thinner. You're gonna need a lot more layers. You can see the pigment quality is obviously better, and the art store quality, you'll need less layers for coverage. I don't know where to put my face. I mean, the blue is okay. You get a more rich, deeper blue like this. The dollar store is a little bit like a sky blue, but my biggest beef is with the red. I don't know if this translates on the camera, but it is more of a pink. Like, compare these reds. The dollar store is more of a pink, it's not a red. It depends on what you're making and how you're using the paint. You know, I've also made lots of paintings where I've mixed the 2. I went to Hobby Lobby just to see what prices are now. For a decent sized bottle is about $12 of not even the really nice stuff. This is like the beginner in a craft store. And of course the pigment and the coverage of the paint is better. I like messing with lower cost or like free items because it boosts my creativity. It helps me think outside the box. I like to do lots of experimentation. My last couple of items that I wanted to include, I went back to the plus section in the Dollar Tree because they do have slightly more quality art supply section. I looked at their sketchbooks. Their sketchbooks are for the most part printer paper, which is very thin. The surface is very smooth. Usually for drawings or sketchings, you usually want something a little more textured or like a thicker paper. However, I did find one $5 sketchbook that was like this faux leather. It reminded me like a moleskin. It's still very thin paper, but a little bit more textured that could be conducive to using like graphite. The biggest thing that I liked about this sketchbook was that it laid relatively flat, and that's because of the soft binding. I went to several Dollar Trees to find all of these supplies. I couldn't find everything at the same Dollar Tree, but I was able to find a Prismacolor kneaded rubber. Now this is for like if you do charcoal drawings and stuff. I had to buy these all the time when I was in drawing classes in college and stuff. Yeah, I don't think it's ever been that expensive, and I went to Hobby Lobby and I did find a different brand, but the same type of a kneaded rubber, same size, same everything for $1.99. I was just surprised that I found it at the dollar store. What I would be interested in doing is comparing all of the Dollar Tree paints to art store paints. If you would be interested in that type of a video of me just comparing, let me know in the comments. And until then, watch one of these videos and I'll see you in the next one.